Oh my gosh, I finally cracked the code to better guitar solos. It's all in the word CETTY. It's not in the dictionary. 2 T's and a Y. Let me tell you all about it. Hello, this is David. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping you develop your musical personality on the guitar so that you can tell a better, more personal musical story. And it's in that story that I found the CETTY code. Before I tell you how to use this, let's talk a little bit about a story, a good story. There are 5 things that a good story needs. A good story needs characters, a good story needs events, a good story needs touch, a good story needs tone, and a good story needs you. C-E-T-T-Y, CETTY. Now, musically speaking, a story is whatever is happening musically. A story can convey emotions, a story can relate events, a story can touch people. And that's really what we're after here. So the 5 elements of a good story need to be defined, and then we'll use them, and that's where magic happens. So the first word, the first element in our CETTY code formula is characters. Musically speaking, the characters are going to be the pitches you're playing, the intervals you're playing. Now, a character, musically speaking, is a note, and a note, as you know, can have different personalities. Major third, minor third, perfect fifth, diminished fifth, and so forth. And typically in a story, we can have up to 7 characters, 7 note scales. Now, a story can be made of 7 even-tempered characters, major or perfect. That's the major scale. A story can have a more nostalgic feel by altering the personality of these characters. Maybe we'll make the 3rd character a little sadder, minor, for example, and that's getting into minor scales. So the characters are really the set of notes that are going to make the scale. More on that in just a little bit. The second word in our CETTY formula is events. Events are everything that happens in the story. There are going to be recurring events, maybe recurring phrases that come back in your music, recurring themes. It could be the speed at which you are delivering the story. You can tell a story in a fast-paced tone or a slower pace. Like all those things have to do with the rhythm in music. And in story, those are the events. And then the third element that you need in every good story is going to be touch. So what is the touch in a story? The author's touch or the storyteller's touch is going to be his technique. Everything that the author or the storyteller has acquired in his life to be able to tell a better story. So that's all the vocabulary. That's the grammar rules. It's all the theory, really, that the author or the storyteller has acquired, or the musician has acquired, that enables him to make choices when he's telling that story. Now, the more touch an author has, a musician has, makes the options a lot wider. You will have more options to tell your story, to deliver your story. That doesn't mean that all your story needs to be very complicated at all, but it just gives you more options. So that's for the touch. And then you have tone. The tone of a story is going to be the natural timbre of the storyteller. Musically speaking, the tone is going to be all the effects you use, the type of guitar you use, the arrangement, anything that makes a pitch different from the same exact pitch played on another instrument. So that's all with the tone. And then finally, the Y stands for you, your own personality, your quirks. Maybe you have a lisp, and that's charming. That could be great. Or maybe you have a stutter, and that could be great. Sometimes that could be seen as an imperfection. I don't see it like that. I just see it as you, as who you are. I mispronounce words quite a bit, and that makes me recognizable. Some people like it, some people don't, but the fact is, that's me. And so that's the 5th element of a good story. You need to be engaged in the process, and you need to add to the story experience U. Let's get practical on the instrument, which, by the way, today is a donor instrument. If you've seen the channel before, you've seen me use donor guitars. They're very affordable guitars and they sound and play great. This one is about 150 bucks on Amazon. Pretty awesome. I'm gonna use this in this video. I'll leave the links below so that you can buy your own donor if you wanna practice guitar. This is it. Okay, so how do we use the CETTY formula? Well, we need to be aware as we practice of these 5 different elements. Well, let's give this a try. I have a backing track that I'm going to mentally start. Here it is. This is a drone, an A. And anything I play is going to be attracted to that. So all the notes, all the characters I play, I bring to life on my instrument, are going to exist because they're attracted to this bed, this musical bed, which is very simple, just an A. Now I'm going to create a set of 7 characters for my story, and I'm going to decide to bring in 7 even-tempered characters. They're not too excited, they're not too sad, they're either major or perfect, and the set of 7 even-tempered characters I'm going to use has a name. It's the major scale, the Ionian mode, with a root, major 2nd, major 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6th, and major 7th. And I'm going to play these in this position right here. Those are the characters. The next word we need is events. We need events in that story. So I'm going to pick a word to describe the type of events that I'm going to choose to use for my story. And we'll keep it simple. Slow-paced events, okay? All right, simple enough. The next word is CETTY, touch. C-E-T, T is for touch, and touch has to do with what I'm bringing to the story, all the things that I have acquired to tell the story, all the vocabulary and all that, technique and such. So I'm going to decide to have maybe a light touch. So that means that everything I play has to fall under that umbrella, light. I'm going to play it lightly, smooth, like all those things. Okay. The next one is tone. And so for this, I'm going to use the tone that I have here with, I've got some reverb, some delay. That's kind of what I'm going to use here for the touch. Finally, U. That's me. That means that when I'm playing a note, I'm going to play it the way that I want to play it. I'm not going to try to become someone else. I'm going to go under these guidelines. So I have my 5 guidelines. And now it's time to play over this, thinking about these things, these 5 different things. Keeping everything light in touch, using those 7 characters, slow-paced events, and so forth. And if I do this for 3, 4 minutes, 5, whatever the case may be, I'm going to start to become a little more comfortable with that storytelling experience, which is really what any musical thing is. You are contributing to a story, whether it's a story that is told with just your instrument or a story told by multiple storytellers in a band or something like that. In this case, really, there are 2 storytellers. There's this one, which is the musical bed. That's my sheet of paper that is pre-printed right here. And on top of it, I'm laying my elements. Because this is made of a single note, really, I have a lot of choices. I don't really have to respect anything else that is being heard here. There's no sense of rhythm or anything else like that. So I can alter now my different words, my 5 words. So for characters, maybe I'll pick a Phrygian type of cast. So the 7 characters now have different personalities. I have a root, which is still A minor 2nd, a minor 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, minor 6th, minor 7th. Those are my 7 characters, and this type of story I'm going to tell. Events, I'm going to make these recurring fast events. That'll be the word that I'm using for events. Touch, I'm going to use maybe legato. So recurring fast legato licks for this, Phrygian. And then for tone, why don't we go for a clean tone here? Bear with me as I change this preset to a clean tone. And finally, I'm gonna add you, me. All right, I'm gonna play it the way that I wanna play it. I'm not gonna try to sound like Steve Vai or Satriani or anything like that. Me. Here's the musical bed, just a drone in A, which you can download, by the way. There is a link below. You'll download this and other backing tracks and the charts. I'll tell you more about it in a second. It's free. So I'm gonna create some fast events using legato. Because of the tone that I'm using, it's a little different. Even technically, you gotta work at it a little more. Recurring events, right? The set of characters is different, so the story is really different. One thing, it's important to spend enough time with these different experiences, because as you do this, you're going to be more comfortable with the storytelling exercise, and you're also going to discover new things. But you have to give yourself time to discover these things. The things you can discover are maybe new paths on the instrument, or a new way of hitting a string, or a new meaning to a word. Maybe light touch can mean different things. And those are things that you need to explore. Another thing that I should mention is that within the CETTY formula, CETTY code, the last word, the Y, the U, is really the same all the time, right? You are you, or is it? No, it's not. Sometimes it could be not a different person entirely, but what you're bringing to the music can be different depending on your mood, depending on how you slept, on what you did that day, and all those things. And I think it's beneficial to sometimes, when you're practicing this, to put yourself in different roles. What would the tired you play here? What would the excited you play here? And so forth. So how do you work on this? Well, glad you asked. Here's what I have prepared for you. The free link below will take you to a page where you'll get some drones just like this, some charts, and also you'll get a sheet that is listed in 5 columns, CETTY, for the 5 elements of a good story. And then under each of these words, you're gonna have other words that relate to the topic of the column. So for characters, you might have Ionian, and then you might have Mixolydian, Lydian, Phrygian, different sets of characters. For the events, you might have words like fast, slow, recurring, things like that. Your job, as you practice this, is to pick one word from each column. You can mix and match and put yourself in that role, in that situation, and use one of these drones that are available. Again, it's all free. Those things are really going to help you connect a little bit more with your own story and your own storytelling skills, which really is the most important thing you can do to develop your musicality. Unfortunately, a lot of you might not do this, and I get it. You're busy. You might think that, oh, I got it. That's easy enough. Unfortunately, just watching the video is not enough. You can really reap the rewards of the teaching here by doing this. I promise you will discover new things. Give it 3 days. Maybe spend 10 minutes each day on a new combination of words. Check out the link below. It's completely free. Download the backing tracks, give these a try, and see where these lead you. I would love to hear back from you after trying this. Leave a comment below. Let me know the discoveries you've made. Let me know what you think of this. And if you want to stick around, check this out. I'll meet you in this video. This is kind of the continuation of what we just did. And I think you will like it too. Thanks for watching this. Practice well. I'll meet you right here. And really do the work. Link is below. It's free. See you there.